And welcome back to the Crochet Crowd and also allfreecrochet.com. Today we're looking at the wavy shell stitch, and this is a really fabulous idea. And this pattern here is done in 3 different colors. Now you'll notice that there's only 2 lines, so there's a shell and then a single crochet, shell, and a single crochet. If you do this only in 2 colors, what's going to happen is that every other shell or every shell will be the exact same color, and then every other single stitch will be the same as well. So by alternating the 3 colors, it actually makes your pattern look a lot more complicated and will give your work a more of a wow factor. In today's tutorial, we're going to be using a size J hook, and we're also going to be using the Bernat Softy Chunky line in order to complete our project. You have to just make sure that your hook complements your yarn, and this pattern is good for any size hook and any size yarn as long as they complement each other. Now please don't email me to ask me how many stitches it's going to take to actually make your pattern. The way that I work is that I tell you that it's sets of something. So for example, this one here is a set of 14. So it takes 14 stitches to go from here to here if you were doing the yellow. So for the blue, it's here to here. So as long as you keep this in sets of 14, your pattern's going to be fabulous. And so basically the way I do it is that I eye it out and then I lay it down on something that I know that I want for the size. So for example, a double comforter or something, you'll just lay down your chain on top of it and you'll get it pretty close to bang on. So I don't actually know the calculations what it takes to actually make a large, medium, or small kind of blanket, but I guess just use another blanket as a template. So let's get started and start creating our slip knot and get going. In this one here, we're looking at the bottom edge, and this is the only time that you'll be using the same color going in both directions. So you'll be doing your chain in one direction and then coming back to establish your pattern. And the reason for that, it would look a little bit awkward as if you had a color change that quickly. And so to keep it consistent, do the first 2 lines that I'm about to show you with the same color. So let's get up our yarn and let's get going. To start, let's do our slip knot. So this is the back of my hand over here. This is the front. So I just want to rotate it around my finger just like so. So now taking the back one, because this is the back of my hand, just put it over top of the front. Okay, so now this is the new back one. So pick that and pull it over your finger just like so. And now you can just pull it off and create your little slip knot. So let's slip it onto our hook, and again we're using a size J hook, Softy Bernat Chunky yarn today. So I told you that we're doing sets of 14, so the chain has to be sets of 14 as well. So this first one here does never count as 1, okay, so we don't ever count that. So let's go. So let's do 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So now there's 14, and so basically you have to make a decision. Is it big enough? Yes or no? So just keep doing the sets of 14 until you get to the size that you want. So let's go again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Again, make a decision. So I'm going to go one more time and then I will end it off at this chain. So you just have to keep going to the length that you prefer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13, and 14. So now that you have your sets of 14 on there, depending on what length you decided to go, now it's time to move on to the next part. And again, do not change your color at this point. Cool. So now we're ready to move up a level. So what we want to do is that each one of the sides is actually half of an actual shell. So we actually have a half. So keeping your finger pressed on the stitch right below the hook. Okay, so right there, so my thumb and my nasty finger, we want to now chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And now where I'm holding is exactly where your first stitch is. So what we're just going to do is grab it and just move your thumb out of the way and put your stitch in. Put your hook in, pulling your material out. It's just a double crochet, and then 2 and 2. So let's review double crochet again. We're going to go into the exact same stitch again. So wrapping and into the same where you just were. Okay, and pull it through 2 and 2 and wrapping and going in. So we want a total of 3 double crochets in a row right into the same hole. Now the first chaining of the 3 actually counts as 1, so you actually technically have 4 at this area right here. So now we want to work in between. Okay, so now let's follow the pattern. So what we're doing is pretend this is the blue area that we're working on. So we've just done a half, and now we just got to do the singles. So in order to do that, we have to jump to the 4th available one. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So going into the 4th, and we want a single crochet. So just wrapping it and putting it in. So just sticking your hook in, grabbing it, pulling it through 2. So in, grabbing it, pulling it through. Okay, and making sure you get them all in there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and 7 is the next one. So now that we have 7 single crochets in a row, so now you can see that if you were in the blue, there it is there. Okay, so now we want to create an actual real half shell. So in order to do that, we just want to jump to the 4th available one. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So holding your finger, grabbing your material and going in, and we're going to double crochet into that same stitch 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we want, again, we're now in between, so we're just going to single crochet. So you can already see the pattern is starting to take shape. So again, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, go in on the 4th, and we're going to put 7 single crochets again in a row. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to actually pull that one out. I don't like the way it grabbed. So let's go back and try that again. And again, I'm not perfect, ladies and gentlemen, and I never ever pretend that I am. And so that was 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now that we got our 7 bad boys in a row, these single crochet, again, now you can start really seeing the pattern. We're now going to do another half shell again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, going in on the 4th, and again double crochet 7 times again. So are you seeing the pattern, what it takes to get all the way across? So it's 7 and 7. So 7 for your half shell, and then 7 single crochets in a row to do that. So we're coming up into the very end. So what you want to do is, if you've obviously done yours a lot longer, so you'll just want to continue the same configuration until you get closer to the end, like I am. So it's 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, let's take a look. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, going in on the 4th. So and we're going to do 7 single crochets in a row. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we're going to create the half shell again. So right in the very last, everybody, just start doing your on the very last one, and we're going to put 4 double crochets right into that same last one. So that was 1, this is 2, this is 3, and 4. And what I wanted you to do now is that I want you to hold, and we're going to start up the next video, and we're going to show you how to change color. So let's get going on that one next. So let's start on with your next color, and what we want to do is I just want to change it to gray, and it's just because I have it. I'm actually doing a full-size blanket of this off camera, while I'm watching TV at night. So let's do a slip knot like you did before. Let's put it onto your hook and pull it snug. And now instead of pulling the blue through like you would have normally, you just want to pull through the gray. Just like that. So that was actually finishing that rotation. So let's turn our material, and now it's time to cut the blue that we have. So we actually have 2 blue stragglers, and the reason why we have 2 is it's from the very bottom there, so we want to address that at the same time. And again, we want to cut the blue maybe about 3 inches.